Hello friends! Today you'll see how actors of the movie MASH have changed. You'll know their original names and age. I will show you how they looked then, in 1970, and what's with them now, in 2021, 50 years after. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go! Captain Benjamin Franklin Hawkeye Pierce is surgeon in MASH unit. Hawkeye is still married, but with being so far from home, he convinces himself that nobody else will ever know. As such, Hawkeye rationalizes his extramarital dalliances and gives himself some moral leeway. Hawkeye was portrayed by Donald Sutherland. Captain Trapper John McIntyre, Elliot Gould, is a character in Richard Hooker's MASH novels, as well as in the 1970 film and 2 TV series. In the film, he had a very dry and sardonic sense of humor. Trapper had a reputation for being a womanizer. He lived a semi-hedonistic lifestyle with its drinking and carousing. Captain Duke Forrest was a surgeon assigned to MASH who arrived with Hawkeye Pierce in the 1970s. Duke was very funny and outgoing. After operations, he likes to have fun, drink a martini, seduce some girl, and joke with his best friends Hawkeye and Trapper John. Duke was portrayed by Tom Skerritt. Major Franklin Burns, Robert Duvall, was pious, claiming to be a man of God, but still blaming others for his own mistakes. The most prominent example was taken directly from the novel, when Frank wrongly accused an orderly named Boone of killing his patient. Boone is crushed, but Trapper John punches Frank in retribution. Colonel Henry Braymore Blake is a character introduced in the 1970 film MASH. Henry Blake was a senior soldier and managed the hospital. Henry treats his subordinates well. Even when they violate discipline, he rarely resorts to punishment. Henry Blake was portrayed by Robert Duvall. He died in 1996 of a heart attack. Lieutenant John Mulcahy, René Auberjonois, known as Father Mulcahy, a U.S. Army chaplain assigned to the Mobile Army Surgical Hospital during the Korean War. Mulcahy was supposedly of Italian and Irish descent, was given the nickname Dagger Red. While most of the staff is not religious, they still treat Mulcahy with reverence. First Lieutenant Maria D. Schneider was a nurse at the MASH during the Korean War. Dish's role in the finished film was limited, as a large portion of her role did not make the final cut. Dish was married, while she cheated with Hawkeye Pierce, with whom she quickly began a love relationship. Dish was portrayed by Joe Ann Flugg. Oliver Spearchucker Jones, Fred Williamson, as a particularly skilled neurosurgeon, and this, together with the experience of playing football together, helps Duke Forrest overcome his racial prejudices. Jones helps prepare the team and eventually plays a key role in strategizing their victory over the 72nd EY Hospital. Corporal Rudder O'Reilly, Gary Berghoff. Rudder acquired his nickname because he was seemingly endowed with ESP, appearing at his CO's side before being called and finishing his sentences. O'Reilly was more of the worldly and sly individual, a clerk who carried with him at all times a pocketful of passes for any potential scam. Marston is a soldier who flies in by helicopter when Hawkeye Pierce and Trapper John are playing golf. He reports that the congressman's son is seriously wounded and only Trapper John can save him. Captain McIntyre plays Marston, but eventually agrees and flies with him. Marston was portrayed by Michael Murphy. Corporal Johnson, a corpsman, appeared in the 1970 film version of MASH. Former NFL football player Timothy Brown, who appeared in the Robert Altman film as Johnson, later appeared in the CBS TV series version of MASH as Dr. Oliver Harmon, Spearchucker Jones. Corporal Johnson was portrayed by actor Timothy Brown. When Trapper and Hawkeye are leaving the 4077th, it's Staff Sergeant Gorman who shows his disgust with Army protocol and any other thing for that matter, who has to drive them from camp. They manage to swipe a jeep without asking Henry's permission in the process. In the film, Sergeant Gorman was played by actor Bobby Trout. Captain Walter Kosciuszko Painless Paul Waldowski was the camp dentist and a buddy of Hawkeye Pierce who began having questions about his sexuality and contemplates suicide as a solution, only to be thwarted by the antics of the surgeons with the use of placebos in a hilarious coffin burial scene. He played by John Shock. Sergeant First Class Vollmer is the hapless sergeant major who tries to keep things running in an orderly manner while being ignored by everyone else. One of the running gags in the show is having him always asking the CO Henry Blake for orders, only to be told that Rather already knows what they are. He was played David Arkin. Brigadier General Hammond was the head of the Army Medical Forces in the Far East, Seoul sector. General Charlie Hammond coordinates an intramural football game between the MASH sergeants and the team which he assembled of medics and surgeons that worked at nearby Evac Hospital, which was under his command. He was played by G. Wood. Captain Bandini is a minor character in the film and doesn't appear often. Bandini was portrayed by actor Corey Fisher. In the movie, Captain Bandini plays Tar. Corey Fisher, one of 4 actors to appear in both the MASH film and the TV series, together with Gary Berghoff, G. Wood, and Timothy Brown. Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan is a member of the Army Nurse Corps and, as the highest-ranking female, she is the unit's chief nurse. She got her nickname of Hot Lips when she and Frank have a wild tryst in her tent, unaware that the public address microphone has been planted under her cot. She was played by Sally Kellerman. Bud Kirk made his screen debut as Private Boone, who was a corpsman at MASH. Boone is on duty on post-op when a patient develops complications. Major Frank Burns asks Boone to fetch some adrenaline and a cardiac needle. Boone apologizes and offers to get a nurse, but Burns says it's too late and blames Boone for the patient's death. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please share it on social networks, like it, and of course subscribe to the channel.